This is part 2 of the video tutorial how to crochet the Poinsettia Christmas Tree Skirt. And it's all about finishing. In part 1, you learned to crochet the poinsettia motif. Now you will learn how to crochet the motifs together with my unique joining method, how to crochet both the inside and outside borders, and lastly, how to put the perfect edging around the entire tree skirt. The link to the companion pattern and the link to part 1, how to crochet the poinsettia motif, are included in the description below. Let's begin. If you are going to be turning your poinsettia motifs into the Christmas tree skirt, you can consider joining it instead of sewing it on this round. When you first attach the first one, obviously they're just in a row. But when you attach the third one, the fourth one, and so on, you want to make sure that one side is designated as the inside and one side is designated as the outside edge. The outside edge will have 4 sides open. The inside edge will have only 2 sides open. So, once I've made the decision on which is my inside and which is my outside, I am going to mark the old motif with markers. And I'm just going to mark them a row below. I don't want it right at the edge because I don't want to have to move those markers while I'm doing the join. So I know I want to join one of these sides to that particular edge. Now I could go and join this one here or this one, but it has to be to this edge. So I'm going to do it right away. And it starts from corner to corner to get a perfect edge. So I'm going to work into the center of the corner, which means I'm going to work the first 2 double crochets, the first group of double crochets into the corner, and I'm going to chain my 1. I'm going to remove the loop from my hook, insert my hook from front to back on the old motif, so to speak, and pick up that loop. I'm going to pull it through to the front and chain 1 tightly. Then I'm going to work the next group of double crochets into that space. Then I'm going to take my loop off my hook again, insert it into the corresponding space on the finished motif, pick up that loop, pull it through, and chain 1 more. You get a perfect join doing that. Then I'm at my side spaces, so I'm going to work 2 double crochets, 1 in each of those first 2 side spaces. Take my loop off my hook, skip the 2 on this side, insert my hook from front to back, pick up that loop, and pull it through, and chain 1. The chain 1 just gives the edge, the seam, enough space so it lays down nice and flat. Then, because there's 7 going across this edge, obviously it's not even, so I'm going to work 3 more side double crochets, 1, 2, 3. Take my loop off my hook, count off 3, 1, 2, 3, insert my hook there, pick up the loop, and pull it through. Chain 1. See how flat that lies? Then I have 2 more spaces. So I'm going to work a double crochet in each of those spaces. Take my loop off my hook, skip to that corresponding space on this finished motif, and pick up that loop and chain 1. Then I'm going to go jump into my corner and do the first group of double crochets in the corner. Chain 1 because that belongs to the corner. Then jump into this corner of the finished motif, pick up that loop, pull it through, and chain 1 more. Now, if you can see, we're going to return to this motif here and finish this corner. We've just joined this side perfectly. We made it all the way around, and we're just going to slip stitch in the top of the first double crochet. Now we can end this off. If you choose to seam it, you may want to leave a longer end for later, but these can just be woven in. When you're looking and doing the Christmas tree skirt, you're going to have 2, 2, 2, which means this would be the next side that gets joined. So I'm just going to move my markers down to here so it's all ready to join when I get there on the next motif. When all the motifs are attached together, just one side remains open. On the end motifs, mark the beginning and end of the inside edge. Also, mark the beginning and end of the outside edge as indicated. The sides and outward pointing corners on the border rows are worked the same as the motif. This is covered in part 1. What is different is how to start the border rows, how and when to work decreases at the inward pointing corners, and how to end the border rows. Therefore, I will discuss how to work the sides and outward pointing corners only as we work through row 1. And attach our yarn right into that corner space. Now I marked it out because that also marks the edge of the opening. Pull up enough so I can chain 3, which will count as a double crochet, and then I'm going to work a double crochet 2 together, putting the first leg of the double crochet 2 together into the same corner space. Pull up a loop and yarn over and pull through 2, and the second leg of a double crochet 2 together, yarn over. We're going to skip this double crochet group and go right into the first space on the side and pull up a loop. We have 3 loops on hook now, yarn over and pull through all 3. So we are beginning to shape both the opening edge and the inner border. So you're going to work 1 double crochet between each of the stitches along the side, just like you were working a regular motif. And then once you get up to the outer corner where it's pointing outward, you want to just continue and do the corner just like normal with 2 double crochets, a double crochet group, chain 1, and 2 double crochets, the second double crochet group, into that corner space. Now that was pretty easy. Coming down this side, it's all the same yet again, with 1 double crochet in each of the side spaces, up until you get close to that concave corner. It points inward versus pointing outward. So we are right up to leaving 1 space before the double crochet group. This is important to get the concept. We're going to be doing 2 double crochet 2 togethers. The first leg of the first double crochet is I ended in with 1 more space before the double crochet group. I'm going to put my first leg of the double crochet 2 together there, and the second leg right into the corner space of the motif I'm working on. 3 loops on hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Then I'm going to jump over to the next motif, and I'm going to put the first leg of the next double crochet 2 together right there in that corner space of the next motif, and the second half in the space between the double crochet group and the first double crochet of the side. 3 loops on hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. We have 2 double crochet 2 together right next to each other, but it pulls these sides in because this is an inward or a concave corner, so you need to do decreases to compensate for that space so it lays relatively flat. Okay, so now we're going to do the whole thing again. We're going to go up the side with a double crochet between each of the side spaces. When we get to the corner space, it's pointing outward. So therefore, we just work a regular corner with a double crochet group, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1, and another double crochet group, which is 2 more double crochets. So we have 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets in that point of the octagon. Then we skip the group and go right into the side again. But once again, we're going into a inward pointing corner, a concave corner. So let's get over there. I'm at the corner. I've just finished the double crochet in this side space. That leaves me 1 more side space, and then the double crochet group, and then the corner space. So yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. That's the first leg. That's the first incomplete double crochet of a double crochet 2 together. Yarn over, insert right into the corner space of the motif I'm working on, pull up a loop, 3 loops on hook, I pulled through 2 there, another incomplete double crochet, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Then we work another double crochet 2 together, starting with the first leg in the corner of the next motif. There you go. Skip the double crochet group and the second half of the double crochet 2 together into that first space, yarn over and pull through all 3. So now we've just completed that double crochet decrease, and we're going to continue going right down this row all the way to the end. I'll meet you then. I'm fast approaching the end of row marker, and 1 space before the first group of the corner, I'm going to work, just like before, a double crochet 2 together with the first leg in the space before the group, and then the second leg right into the corner space. In addition to that, I'm going to work 1 more double crochet in that corner space, just so that I start developing this nice edge for the opening. To begin the second row of the inner border, we're going to chain 3 and turn. We're going to do a double crochet 2 together, but instead of placing the first leg in the same space as the chain up, we're going to work the double crochet 2 together over the next 2 spaces. This is important. It's a subtlety, but it's important. Work the side, outward pointing corner, and the next side just as before, until we get to 1 space before the inner corner. And that is right before the decreases in the row below. So here's a decrease in the row below here. There's the first one, and here's the second one right next to it. So can you see those? Over all of these, we're going to work a double crochet 3 together. We're going to put the first leg in the stitch in the space before the first decrease. We're going to put the second leg between the decreases, and we're going to put the third leg on the space after the decreases. So we have 3 incomplete double crochets on our hook with a loop. That's 4 loops on hook, yarn over and pull through all 4. Then we're just going to repeat this all the way to the end until there are 3 spaces remaining. We're getting to the end of this row, and I have 3 spaces left. Over the next 2 spaces, I'm going to work a double crochet 2 together, 3 loops on hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, and in the last space, I'm going to work 1 double crochet. And that ends row 2, and the decreases along the edge taper the edge ever so slightly. Since row 3 is worked in red, I'm going to cut my yarn and weave the end in. I'll meet you then. Row 3 is very similar to row 1 of the border, except we're not working along the motif anymore. We are working along the border below. Now this row is worked in red from the right side, so I just turned my work. I'm inserting my hook into the end space and chaining 3 using a double strand. That yarn tail will be woven in before we return to it. Now, just like row 1, we're going to work a double crochet 2 together, putting the first leg into the very same space as the chain up. So that's the first part of the double crochet 2 together. Here's the second part. 2 legs, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. And then we're just going to work the sides and the outward corner just the same as we did before. And we're going to work until 2 spaces before the next inner corner. The inner corner is where the 3 double crochets were crocheted together. So we're just going to work a double crochet 2 together over the 2 spaces before the corner, and a double crochet 2 together over the 2 spaces after the corner. Continue in this manner across the entire row, right down to the last 2 spaces. So what we're going to do is work a double crochet 2 together with the first leg in the first space and the second leg in the last space, and then we're going to work 1 more double crochet in the last space, just to keep that nice and firm. But now we cut our yarn yet again because we changed back to white. Here's row 1, 2, and 3, and you will alternate 2 and 3, 2 and 3 all the way for the next 12 rows. But at the same time, you're going to work 3 rows of white, 1 green, 3 white, 1 red, 3 white, and 1 green. To complete the outside border, repeat rows 1, 2, and 3 of the inside border. Just remember that there are more sides and outward pointing corners between the inner corners where the decreases are made. And just like the inside border, row 1 and 2 are white, and row 3 is red. I'm going to join my yarn for the final edging right along this side where I just finished my red. And with the right side facing, I'm going to insert my hook under any of those stitches along that edge. I'm just going to pull up a loop and chain 1, and I'm going to pull that end through. That'll be woven in later, okay? And in the very same stitch that I attached my yarn, I'm going to work a single crochet, and I'm going to work a single crochet in each of the stitches along that edge until I get to the final stitch. And I'm going to work 1 single crochet there. I'm going to turn my corner, and I'm going to work 2 single crochets around the end double crochet of that row. I'm going to work 2 single crochets around each of those double crochets for each of the side edges. Now, these markers can be removed at this point because they serve their purpose. When you reach the corner of the motif, you're going to place 2 single crochets into the corner space because that's the corner of the motif that sits along the opening. Then from now on, you're going to work just 1 single crochet in the top of each stitch, including the double crochet group. Now I'm at the next corner of the motif, and so I'm going to place 2 single crochets into that space. Now I'm back to working 2 single crochets around each stitch along the edge. So I've put my 2 single crochets around the last edge stitch. So now I'm going to insert my hook under the top 2 loops. Now this has been woven in quite tightly, so I have to work on getting into it. There we go. And I'm going to work 1 single crochet on that side of that end stitch. Now I'm going to continue along the top edge. Now it does dip a little bit, but it doesn't matter because this is the stabilizing row. So all I'm going to do is work 1 single crochet in each stitch, including the space between the double crochet groups. When we get to the end of this row, we're going to put our last single crochet in the top of the last stitch, turn our work down the side, and we're going to complete this side of the opening the same way we did the other side of the opening. So we're just making it down to the outside border edge, and we're going to put our 2 single crochets around the edge stitch of the last row. Then we're going to convert over again, and once again this is woven in. I've woven in yarn tails here, so this is quite tight, and I'm just going to get in that top 2 loops of that stitch and work another single crochet for that side. And then we're just going to work 1 single crochet in each of the double crochets in the top 2 loops of each of the double crochets along this edge until we get to one of the outward pointing corners. We're going to work 2 single crochets into that space. Work 1 single crochet in each of the stitches along this side until we get to the next outward pointing corner. Now you do have a lot of outward pointing corners, and we're just going to continue all the way around this edge until we get to an inward pointing corner. Now we're approaching an inward pointing corner, and in it you have the 2 decreases of the last row. So all we're going to do is work right up to them. We're going to do a modified single crochet 2 together right over the decreases of the row below. And so we're just going to continue along this edge until we get to the end, and that is the end of this row. I'll join you then because we have one final row of the edging that we will complete together. Now we've made it all the way around, so slip stitch into the first stitch to join the round. Now I'm going to weave this end in going along this edge because we're going to continue to work on our border. And this one you chain 1. Notice I did not turn, and I'm not going this way with my stitches. I'm going that way. We're going to work a border of reverse single crochets. We're going to work under the top 2 loops of each of the stitches along this edge, but we're going to go to the right. We're going to insert our hook in the second stitch from where we are and insert it under both loops. Now note, I have my thumb on this loop on my hook because when I pull up my loop to do a single crochet, I want that loop to come up to the left of this loop. Yarn over and pull through 2. What that does is it gives it a little twist and creates a braid along the edge. Then I'm going to go into every single one of them the same way. So let's do a couple together. So insert, pull up a loop to the left of the yarn that I already have on my hook, yarn over and pull through 2. And do you see how it creates that beautiful reverse single crochet? I'm going to just work 1 in each one. Now that's really easy. You're not going to do any decreases or increases on this row whatsoever. You're just going to put 1 in each stitch. Now I'm going to go all the way around, and I'll join you when I get back to here. Now when you get to the end, you're going to put the last one in, and that one will fold over the first chain. So we're just going to stitch right over this chain like so, and it literally disappears. Now that we have the borders on all the edges, we still need to put a cord around the upper part so that we can tie it along the tree. We're going to take our white yarn. You're going to just form a slip knot and chain 100. And I'll meet you then. I have just chained my 100. I'm just going to roll the chain over to expose the 3rd loop on the back, and in the 2nd chain from the hook I'm going to insert my hook and slip stitch, and I'm going to do that in every single chain all the way down. Simply weave the cord back and forth through the last row of green along the inside edge. You've just finished the Poinsettia Christmas Tree Skirt, but there is just one more detail I like to add. I put tassels on each of the points along the outside edge. And in the next video, I will demonstrate my super easy tassel technique. See you then. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please take a moment to subscribe and ring the bell to receive notifications of upcoming videos and events. Happy crocheting!